You're now listening to Beyond the Music, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay. And in this installment of Beyond the Music, what we have here is we're interviewing the rapper known as Random, aka Mega Ran. And Mega Ran is basically he's getting a lot of attention, and he's basically been known for putting out the Mega Ran project, where he took the 8-bit version of some of the popular Mega Man sounds and flipped them and remixed them and made dope hip hop songs out of them, and that got him a lot of attention. And and he's put out a lot of releases and projects as Mega Ran. I'm gonna have the links in the information box below so you can check it out. I know a lot of you listening are already aware of this, and basically we have him here, and he's gonna talk to us a lot about his upcoming projects and a lot of the other things that he has going on, the tour. And just kind of, we're just going to, pick his brain and get into the mind of the rapper known as Mega Ran. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to MCBEE-X. MCBEE-X is signed to ACM Records, and he has a single out right now called I'm the Kingpin. And you know how Mega Ran, what he is to the video games? MCBEE-X is like that to the comic books. Because video games and comic books go hand in hand. So you can check out MCBEE-X's music in the information box below as well, and you can also check out Mega Ran as well. So like you said, if you're really into the video games and the video game music, definitely listen to Mega Ran. And if you're into you're into a lot of the comic book references, you should definitely check out MCBEE-X. All right, and so let's get into this interview. You're listening to Beyond the Music, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay, and we have Mega Ran in the spot with us. How you doing, Mega Ran?
I'm real good, Jay. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just keep doing my thing. I'm just hanging in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on.
It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
We're hot as usual. Just trying to stay cool.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's definitely get into this interview. So let me ask you, what projects are you working on right now?
Right now, I am finishing up a couple of. I'm actually doing like 3 things at once, but I always keep a couple of things in the oven, like future projects. So immediately, I'm working on a new project which is called T.R.A.P, which stands for Television and Radio and Poison, and I'm doing like a sequel thing to that. So I did an EP a couple of months ago, just kind of me rapping on trap beats, just about very more positive subjects and things that people might be used to on those types of beats. So we're working on a follow-up to that. Actually have our first video for the next one coming out next week, next Tuesday. So doing that, I'm also working on a EP with some Japanese composers that I did while I was in Japan about a month ago. So we're working on finishing that up, doing a full album with all producers that are from Japan. And so that's been pretty cool working on that. And after that, I have 2 other albums that I'm planning for that probably won't be until next year. So I won't really talk about those yet. But the main things right now is the T.R.A.P album. And I just finished and released a Castlevania EP. And that was pretty fun to do. But right now, I'm just kind of planning for this next tour. We're about to hit the road next month with Homeboy, Sandman, and Open Mike Eagle. So just looking forward to that, man. It's going to be a really great look. It's going to be an awesome experience.
Oh.
Out with music at intelligent as well as nice on the mic. And it's going to give people something new to check out.
Oh, definitely. And so you said you're going to. So let me ask you something. You familiar with the Brown Bag Allstars?
Yeah, very much.
Definitely. You ever collaborate with any of them, J57 or Audible Doctor, any of them?
I haven't. I've met Audible Doctor. I've met SoulCon and South by Southwest and other events. So we've all chopped it up. We've actually exchanged some emails, me and SoulCon, about doing a tour. But I believe he just got married, so that's what kind of slowed that up. So congrats to him on that. But J57 and Concept are really cool with a good friend of mine, Rocky Tyree. So I think it's kind of a matter of time with our movement and what we're doing and what they're doing. I think it's a matter of time. In the underground rap scene, we're all 1 degree apart, We see each other at a show, we say what's up. And then one day it's like, hey, let's do something together. So
yeah.
I really think it's a matter of time. It'll happen soon, brother.
Oh yeah, because you definitely got to get on some Audible Doctor tracks. Like the Audible Doctor, like if you and him do just like a couple of tracks together, man, that'll be magic. You know.
That would be dope. So hey, if you got the connect, man, you know, let him know. Tell him who I am, and hopefully it'll jog his memory and we'll get something going.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna send him this link after we're done. Oh yeah. So let me ask you, when you do like the other projects that are not the video game sampled tracks, do you still go as Mega Ran, or you just random, or how you do that?
Well, I try to keep them separate and do Mega Ran for video game stuff and then random for non-video game stuff. But it gets confusing for people to keep up with what I'm doing. So for the T.R.A.P album, I named it, I put Mega Ran on the front on purpose. Just to kind of make sure, because I noticed that if you try to live two separate identities, it's very difficult to keep them in order, and one becomes bigger than the other. So, and that's kind of what happened with Mega Ran. And this is a more Google-friendly name. Like, people can't find a rapper named Random if they just type in Random.
Yeah.
But if they're looking for Mega Ran, they will find Mega Ran. So I feel like it's important to keep them together. So the last couple of releases, I've done Random, a.k.a. Mega Ran, or things like that. I'll put a Mega Ran in parentheses.
Yeah.
Plus, there's another artist in a band named Random already. So it's a little difficult to forge my own identity in that. I'm still the most popular of those, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
If you type in, I just found out, if you type in Google Random Rapper, I actually do show up. So that's pretty cool. But, yeah, I feel like it's important to keep them separate but together so people know it is the same person. I've ran into people like, yo, your name's Random? That's funny. I knew this guy named Random. He used to be on the OkayPlayer boards, and he did a couple of really dope tracks. I was like, yo, that's me, man. Like, so I have to explain to people that because of the Mega Ran thing, like, Random isn't dead. Like, it still exists. So I try to keep them separate, but I think for the future, I'll try to keep them together. Just because I don't want people to miss anything because they're looking for one name and not the other, you know?
Definitely. So let me ask you something. Because you know some people that do they're more familiar with just Random, and they know you rapping over the boom bap beats and stuff like that. And then the Mega Ran fans, you know, they're mostly, a lot of them, like some of them are not really like hip hop heads, but they're just into the comic books and they're into the video games, stuff like that. And then they just like your music because it was so dope. You got to like it, but they connect more because you're rapping about the video games. So let me ask you: has doing like kind of double branding it? Has it stopped like the people who just know you as Random and like the boom bap stuff? Have they ever listened to the video game stuff and said, nah, I ain't messing with that, that's some different stuff? And vice versa, like the people who know you as Mega Ran mostly and they like the video game stuff, have they went, well, dang, he did this joint with Freeway, I don't want to listen to that, or he's rapping over this Ninth Wonder beat, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Probably. I mean, honestly, I'm sure it happens, and it definitely happens. The numbers don't lie. I mean, if I put out a song using the Mega Man track, it's going to get significantly more plays than the track over, you know, a Nice Wonder beat or a Freeway feature or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, yes, there are different groups of people who like different things, and I'm hoping that eventually I can bridge that gap.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's slowly happening through my releases, but I alternate. I do it for myself, you know, more than for the fans. So, I'm a fan of 90s hip-hop or boom bap, you know, that's me. I'm also a fan of video games, so if I could do them both and do them well and enjoy them both, then, you know, the rest will fall in line. But I do feel there are people who come, and they tell me, they're honest with me, they're like, yeah, I really like that Heroes album, but I didn't listen to that for Famicom album or that Mega Ran album. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm totally okay with that, you know, so therefore I do, you know, there is an alternative. So people can't just be like, I'm writing this cat off. I don't want to hear that video game stuff. I don't want to hear that real rap stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It's something for everybody. I try to maintain a balance, like I said, mostly for myself. But, you know, but it's also for the fans too. People are able to pick that up. And if you don't like one thing, you'll like the other thing, you know? So something for almost everybody. I mean, almost.
Oh, yeah. Because I like them both. Like I like you on the boom bap stuff, like on the video game stuff, and it's just I pump them both. It don't matter, you know.
That's what's up, man. Like, there's not a lot of people who can get into both, and I understand that. I mean, I step outside of myself, and I'm like, man, if I was this 90s boom backpacker head, like, I don't think I would want to hear songs about Castlevania. But I did play Castlevania when I was young, so it's like, maybe I can get into it, you know, and just respect the craftsmanship for what it is, you know. It's dope beats, it's dope rhymes, it's a dope concept, then why not? So I hope that one day, you know, my goal is to be able to fill arenas, have boom bap hip hop heads, and have geeks and nerds, and have them all just have a great time. Like, that's what I really want to have happen.
And I want to see that happen. Like, I'm rooting for it. Like, I got that has to happen. You know, it's going to be huge. You know.
Oh yeah, I hope so, man. If I can bridge that gap a little bit, because we're all nerds, man. Like, all my friends, everybody that I knew came into the 90s with hip hop. They all loved comic books. They all loved video games. We all, you know, we're into this stuff. T.R.A.P is the biggest comic book head around, you know, so guys like that, or even most of the rappers I know, their original first rap band was after a comic book character. So,
Okay,
you know,
the entire Wu-Tang clan is...
that whole Wu-Tang clan with the you know, kung fu stuff. So it's like, all that stuff, you know, it's a product of the 80s. So we all came up in the 80s, and we respect every aspect of the 80s. So, but I don't know why it was so taboo to mention or to put, you know, video games into hip-hop when they both came up at the same time. Both have a million similarities. I'm going to try to write a book on that. That's actually one of my long-term projects, is to write a book on hip-hop and video games, the cultures and how they're so different and similar at the same time. So that's like my long-term project, and I'll make an album to come with that, or something like that. But yeah, they're so similar, man. It's just a matter of time before people realize that it's not completely taboo, and it's not whack to draw from your past being influenced.
Exactly, because you know what? Like, I think the reason so many people, like you said, it's taboo is because I think, like, some people, when they think video games, they automatically, like, if you say, well, I'm rapping on video game beats, they automatically think it's going to be some novelty, corny kind of thing. But you made it to where, like, even if you're not into video games, or you don't really, or you don't know the samples that you use, you do it in such a way that it's like you can't tell. It's not corny, it's not cheesy, it's not like a little novelty rap. It's like you do it into where it's like you don't have to be a video game head to feel this, you know?
Right, and that's what I try to be, man. My producers are so awesome at that, man. Like, Ian 3, his biggest influence is Jay Dilla. So even if he's sampling a video game, it's still got the swing and the funk to it where any hip-hop head can get down with it, you know. K-Murdock, who's Group Panacea, was signed to Raucous Records, you know what I'm saying? So these guys have legit hip-hop cred, but also big video games. So I think it's great, and if anybody gives it enough of a chance, they'll realize that this stuff is deeply rooted in true school hip-hop. So it's like, how can you not like this, you know?
Exactly. You know, because I mean, because the way you tell the stories on the beats, it's just like, I mean, it's just the storytelling. Like, it's not cheesy. Like, I mean, but like you know that, you know, you went for that, you know.
Thank you, man. And I used to worry about that a lot when I did shows. Like, I opened for Sean Price one time in Philly, and I was like, man, I can't do no video game stuff here. And then I got to the show, and like 3 dudes in the front were like, yo, do that Mega Man joint, yo, do the Mega Man joint. And I was like, oh, that's what's up. So like, I did it, and the people in there were really loving it. So it's like, that showed me there, like, man, it's important to be yourself at all times, man, because somebody out there might relate. And even if they don't, man, just it's important to bring them into your world.
Oh yeah. This is something else I wanted to say too. When you mentioned the comic books too, let me ask you: have you ever heard of this artist by the name of MCBEE-X?
MCBEE-X?
Yeah, MCBEE-X.
No, I have not.
Definitely check him out, man. He's like, you know how you are to the video game rap. He's like that with the comic books. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you should definitely check him out. He's all about that, man. And I was thinking, you know, maybe you guys could collaborate, or because I think a collaboration between you two would be really dope, or how you guys do a show together. I mean, that would, because I mean, you got mostly, even though like video games and comic books, it's like one hand, they're hand in hand, but they're still kind of two separate kind of fan bases in a way still, and I think if you connected with him, that'd be a good way to even get the comic book heads, you know?
Oh wow, that would be cool. I mean, I'm definitely into comic books. I'm more of an old school comic book dude, so I don't put it too much into my music. But wow, that's dope. I mean, I'm gonna have to find him. Like, where's he from?
Yeah, he's right now. He's in Germany, but he's signed to a label that's in New Jersey, ACM Records, and
Okay.
and I'm gonna put the links in the information box below to y'all for all y'all as listeners. So you can check out definitely check out Mega Ran, but you know I'm gonna put MCBEX's links down there too, so you can check out his music. And he has a song by the name of "I'm the Kingpin," and he has he has Donald D from Ice-T's Rhyme Syndicate, and he has Soul SK from Freestyle Fellowship on there.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and he has a joint. He has a joint on his album with Grandmaster Melle.
Wow.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yes.
Wow.
So
That's
I
like some bucket list status right there.
yeah. So I mean, you definitely, and Grandmaster Melle, he just recently signed to ACM Records. You know,
Oh, wow.
the same label that he's on. Yeah. So I'm gonna get you guys connected though. I'm gonna get you guys connected. You know.
Word up. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's got to go down. You know. You know.
I know a few other cats that utilize the comic book stuff. I mean, Adam Warlock is very comic book influenced. I met a dude outside of Seattle by the name of Rip Dent, who's also very comic book influenced. I mean, Word Burglar is big in the comics. He's from Halifax, Canada. And so, yeah, there's a lot of cats that are into it. So it's just a matter of making the connection.
Oh yeah. You know, and I think the reason why the video game thing blew up and is blowing up bigger than the comic books thing, because you know you guys are sampling actual video games, whereas comic books they have no sound to them, so you can't really sample a.
Yeah, you can't sample. I mean, I think it would be dope if somebody could get like Stan Lee to do an intro or something. Like that would be the epic equivalent. You know, if something like that could happen, or comic artists drawing the art for or comic, or people having comics. Like I did that last year. We actually put out a comic book. There's a Mega Ran comic book, and it's based on my story. Just being a teacher who moved on to hip hop, and it's kind of it's got the comic book elements where I have these special powers and stuff. But you can definitely check that out online. Just go Google Mega Ran comic, and the whole first issue is online for people to check out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just give me the links. I'll put it. Anything you want me to put, I'm gonna put it in the information box and let the listeners check that out. You know.
Nice, appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and also about you, being a teacher that moved into hip hop. Now, what I'm about to say might be off the record, so if you don't really want to get into that, you don't really have to answer. But I just want to ask. So are you doing hip hop full time, or do you still teach, or how does that go down?
No, I do it full time. I taught for about 6 years. But for the last 3 years, I resigned in 2011. Yeah, early 2011, I resigned from teaching to do hip hop full time.
Word. Okay, so let me ask you, because I got to pick your brain to this, and like I said, you don't have to. Right. I just want to because
hey, I'm an open book. Don't worry, pick away.
Definitely, because you're doing what a lot of people would like to eventually do. They want to eventually make the money off their art. Now, at one point, I was actually doing it, but that was different. I was booking shows and making beats, and it's easier when you're a behind the scenes person to make a living off of it than it is for like the artists. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But then I had to go back to the real world after after I got my butt kicked a few times, but it's like I go back and forth, but really it's not about me right now. It's about you. What actually makes the most type of money? Is it like the CD sales, the digital downloads, the shows, merchandise, or doing features? What
Patient with me, but honestly, it's that combination that keeps you going. Mm-hmm. But to me, shows have always been the most lucrative, and getting the road is essential. Because you're going out, you're meeting new people, you're making new fans, and shows. So on the road is probably number one. Number two is CD sales and merchandise. Number three is like royalty statements, payments, and placements and things like that. I've been lucky to get some placements of some TV shows, movies, and games, which is some some periodical statements coming into that. But honestly, I feel like doing shows is the best way. So I'm always on the road. Anybody that knows me know that when I am home, people are like, "Dang, you here? Like that's word. That's what's up." But I stay on the road because that's where I'm able to get my most income. If I sit home for 2 months, I don't feel like I have to go back to work. Like instantly. I feel like it would. I think it would kind of dry up because I'm not out there in people's faces. So I try to stay as busy as I can just to try to avoid that. But yeah, I think shows are the key, man. Making connections with other artists in other states and being able to offer something, whether it's rhymes, whether it's beats, whether it's connections, shows, things like that. Just being able to have something to offer people and putting on a good show. Like a lot of artists just don't put on good shows, so putting on a good show is key, and also making those connections and building, just building something, so that it's positive each time. Like I'm going out a lot in the past and done really, really small, whack shows, but those were able to build into bigger shows in the future. So you got to do that. You got to take your bumps, like you were saying. So it's it's a slow grind, but I'm fortunate that for two things. One, that I put out a lot of music. I stay very active in the music and my online, my promotions and stuff, and with traveling. So I stay very active, and I'm very lucky to be kind of have one foot kind of firmly into two very different types of music with hip hop and with like the nerd community, where I'm able to reach into different pools when I need to, or when I put new music out, to show that to them and hopefully gain their support for it. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. So let me ask you, what about you getting your songs placed on like television shows and video games? Like, what are some of your highest placements for what you've done? Like, where can people listen to your songs on? What shows? What movies? What's this on?
Well, most of the game placements are very small, independent games that'll probably never see the light of day. But they did pay, so that's good. So they do come on. I've done some iPhone games and some Android games. But my highest placement, I would say, is there's a show on IFC called Portlandia.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm a huge fan of Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen.
Yeah. Fred Armisen is hilarious. So I got a placement on there on the first season. There's an episode it's called Amy, because it has Amy Man in it. And there's a scene where they go into a coffee shop and they play my song Splash Woman, which is pretty dope.
Word.
And so that was probably my biggest placement. I've been on like Tosh.0. I've been on wrestling programming, like Impact Wrestling. I have been on ABC 2020. They did some special, and they played my music on that. So it's been a lot of cool places that have come up, and I have to thank actually a site called Reverb Nation for that. So I got to shout them out, because for the longest time I was ranked #1 in my area on Reverb Nation, and I didn't know what that meant. I didn't even care. I never cared about numbers and rankings.
Yeah.
But because of that, being #1, and it led to people contacting me about placements and things. So if you are an artist out there, Reverb Nation, keep up with it, like keep it updated, because you never really know who's looking at it,
So let me ask you, you never worked with like an agency or a promotion company that got you into these placements? Has it strictly been like Reverb Nation and those people contacting you?
Yeah, I've never worked with an agency. I would like to consider it, but I don't know if I'm big enough yet. I think eventually contact you when you're selling out shows and, you know, you're popping on YouTube and you're doing things. They'll contact you and make things happen. And one day, I would love to be, you know, big enough to warrant an agency partnership. But right now, I've done everything on my own. Like, it's just been me. No manager, no publicist, no big cosign, no label. It's just me, you know. It's just me.
So let me ask you: I guess they had to contact you, but would you be opposed to any of those things, or because I know you've gotten yourself all these things? I bet you're thinking like, well, unless they can do something major like a big agency, I don't really want to mess with anybody. Would you, like, if somebody had like a promotional service, or somebody, or even somebody said, well, look, I can do X, Y, and Z for you? Would you say, I don't know, or would you kind of be like, well, dang, what's your take on that? Because since people already,
you know, I would listen. I would definitely listen to anyone. You know, people ask me all the time, like, have you ever thought about signing with people and things? And I'll listen. I'll always listen. You know, but it has to be doing something that more than what I've done for myself, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
My job right now is a little hectic with touring, with putting out new music, with promoting that new music, and things like that. It's tough, so it would be great to have some assistance with that. But they would have to, I don't know, their resume would have to show me that they could put together a little more than what I've done. And that's really all I need.
Yeah.
Because I'm one guy, and I've been able to accomplish quite a bit. You know, so if they can do that, like, I've had people come to me all the time, and then they usually will back off. They're like, wow, man, you got a lot going on. Like, I don't know if I can do more than what you've already done. You know, I've had labels hit me with the same thing, distribution companies with the same thing, promotion companies with the same thing. I'm like, wow, I don't really know if I can do more than what you do. So that's really what it is. I wanted to be a little bit ahead of what I'm already accomplishing.
Oh, yeah.
And if that can happen, then sure. Like I said, I'm always willing to listen.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, what I want to do right now, we're gonna definitely keep the interview going, but what I want to do is I want to just stop it right here, and then I'm gonna have to restart it for part 2. Definitely Megaran, you know, give me all the links. You know, I'll put them in the information box below, and just hold tight.
All right.